This is a decent pick if you're just looking for something basic for light gaming or emulation. It can handle older titles, indie games, and emulators pretty well, thanks to its Intel N150 chip and UHD graphics. 16GB RAM and a 1TB SSD are surprisingly good at this price point. There are 2 HDMI ports for dual display setups, and connectivity is solid with Wi-Fi 6 and 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. One thing to note, some users mention a boot issue, which might require a firmware update. This one's a step up for basic needs, especially for retro emulators or lightweight esports like CSGO or Rocket League. The Alder Lake N95 chip isn't powerful, but it does the job for 1080p in older games. It has 16GB of RAM and a 512GB SSD, with some room to expand. You get triple display support, 2 HDMI and VGA, which is nice for multitasking. The main catch? A few users have flagged potential spyware in the pre-installed OS, so a clean install of Windows or Linux is recommended. Still, for under $300, it's solid for casual use. If you're into esports or older 888 games, the A5 strikes a decent balance. The Ryzen 5 7430U with Vega 8 handles games like League or Dota 2 at 1080p smoothly. With 16GB of RAM and a 512GB SSD both upgradable, you get reasonable speed and responsiveness. 4 4K display outputs make it flexible for productivity too. It can run a little hot under load, so ventilation is something to keep in mind. Overall, it's a reliable middle ground pick if you're not pushing high-end graphics but want something that won't lag behind too quickly. For a budget gaming build that can handle both retro emulators and more modern esports titles, this is a pretty fair choice. The Ryzen 7 570U is an efficient processor that does well at 1080p for games like Fortnite or FIFA. It comes with 32GB RAM and a 1TB SSD, which is rare at this price. You also get 3 display outputs and dual LAN for solid network performance. It's not meant for heavy OA gaming, but if you're into emulation, streaming, or casual titles, this one's worth a look. This model is similar in spirit to the P4, but runs a slightly newer CPU. It performs well for lightweight to moderate gaming, especially 1080p esports and indie games. With 32GB of RAM and 1TB SSD, multitasking and load times are snappy. You get a decent range of display and networking ports, HDMI, DP, USB-C, and dual 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. It's quiet and compact, which is nice for small setups or dorm rooms. You won't be maxing out new titles, but for what it is, it's a dependable everyday gaming PC. This one actually brings enough power to comfortably run many modern games at 1080p, and the Ryzen 7 7840HS is a strong processor. 32GB DDR5 RAM and a 1TB PCIe 4.0 SSD give it fast performance across the board. It's small, has USB 4, Wi-Fi 6E, and dual LAN. You might not need a discrete GPU if you're staying at 1080p. This is a serious pick if you want gaming power in a small form. If you're looking for the best value among mini PCs without going into full desktop territory, this is it. The Ryzen 9 8945HS and Radeon 7 80M combo handles not just 1080p, but some 1440p gaming too. With 32GB DDR5 RAM and a 1TB SSD, it's very responsive. Plus, it supports external GPUs via OCU link if you ever want to expand later. It also has dual USB 4 and dual 2.5 gigabit Ethernet LAN, making it future-proof and flexible. For gamers or creators who want strong performance in a compact box, the K11 is probably the best long-term investment here. And that wraps up our list of the best mini gaming PC that you can buy. Hope you found what you were looking for, and catch you guys in our next video.